back again. We've got a gift for you, right? They get out this clock, like a little sort of, it's like a Swiss, you know, the Swiss sort of, looks
cuckoo
like a little
clock.
house, like a cuckoo clock. But on the hour, little Elvis comes out the top and goes, right? So she went, oh, cheers. She's not really into Elvis, she's more into Jim Reeves and Glenn Campbell and stuff. Yeah. But what can you say? She said, oh, thanks for that. She put it in, took it in the house.
Maybe they could get attachments. Maybe you get a little Jim Reeves to pop on the spring. Change it anything you like So Solid Crew. You can get a little So Solid Crew, and that pops out, or whoever.
So anyway, it's in the house. She's thinking, I'm not going to put that up. It's not her sort of thing. So thinks, give it to charity.
Of course.
She goes down to the charity shop, gives them that, thinks nothing of it, goes off to the pub for her afternoon drink. Anyway, next day she's going out for her afternoon drink again. Passes the charity shop. It's in the window.
Ooh. And the chances are her friends are going to pass by.
That was a dilemma.
Of course.
She had to buy it back.
That's brilliant.
At a hugely inflated price. For those that are American listeners, Comic Relief here is a sort of it happens every other year, and people often do things in their workplace or at school. They can dress up, they can raise money in different fun ways, and we were told in a school assembly, it was Comic Relief next Friday, everyone has to come along dressed up in fancy dress to school on that day.
Has to?
Yeah, they said have to dress up. They said you pay 50p towards Comic Relief, and you have to pay £1 if you don't dress up. Right?
That's annoying, isn't it?
So, of course, I'm looking forward to this, because, I'm a sort of aspiring comedian and that. Get to dress up like a clown, right? Spent quite a lot of time getting the old clown outfit together.
What did that look like?
The shoes, obviously, I just wore my regular shoes.
Exactly, yeah.
But I had the red nose, a wig,
wow.
The whole deal, big bow tie that my mum made for me, I thought this is going to be the best day ever, right? Get to school, I want you to picture this scene, right? During the assembly in my class of 30. School uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school uniform. Lanky kid dressed as a clown. School uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school. There was 3 people in the entire school who dressed up.
But Steve, you're 50p.
Yes, but then worse than that, it turns out I was furious because I looked like an utter dick. Obviously, it turns out that what happened, I don't know whether I'd missed this information, but apparently the headmaster must have had another assembly where he told people that he wasn't allowed to enforce that rule about making people pay against their will.
Yeah.
So obviously no one showed up dressed like an utter dick, except me and about 2 other knobs.
What disappoints me is that for a man who was a self-confessed aspiring comedian, you chose the least funny thing in the world to dress as.
Yeah.
Clowns are anti-comedy. They suck comedy out of the room. It's not...
You're right, and this is from a man who wanted to dress as Hitler at the Golden Globes.
No, that's funny.
He knows funny costumes when he thinks... But you were saying about the guys who bother you in the street. Did I tell you that when I pretended to be foreign to try and get out of that? Did I tell you that story?
Amazing.
Because a technique I used to develop at university was whenever people bothered me in the street, I would pretend to be sort of generic foreign. I can't really do a foreign accent, but I would just be like if someone asked for directions, I was always worried about giving them the wrong directions, so I would just, sorry, I don't really, how you say, it's just kind of vague foreign.
Brilliant.
And I've periodically used this method throughout my life. And not so long ago, a guy stopped me with one of those charity tunics. And I sprang into my old trick. I was like, sorry, I don't...
an elderly Russian woman.
I don't know what voice that is. I don't know what accent
it went from vaguely French to sort of Eastern European beggar.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. And the guy, and I was sort of, I don't. He was, well, just let me explain to you about it. Sorry, I'm not from. And the guy,
this world.
Yeah,
I am from planet Snorg.
And the guy said, "Are you Stephen Merchant?"
No.
Sorry.
Not when you were famous.
Oh yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, because it hadn't occurred to me. It was like a lapse of concentration.
God.
It was a lapse of concentration because
And did your bow tie spin round and you squirted in the water and ran away? That's what I'd have done.
Because it's one of those things where you don't always remember that you've been on the. It's not like I instantly remembered that.
Amazing.
So he says, "Are you Stephen Merchant?" And then you're at this position where you've got to go. Either you've got to admit what you did, or you've got to carry on the lie. And I chose the second one. So I was kind of like, I don't know who that is. What? I don't know what you're... And he was like,
oh, God.
Really? You look a lot like him. I was going, I've never heard... I don't...
In fact, you are Stephen Merchant. Freeze.
I'm always getting stopped for... I mean, there's so many charities now. Anything... I think that's the other problem, actually, that there's so many now. Years ago, a problem wouldn't have been a problem, whereas today, it's... Someone's got this problem, someone's got OCD, and we're collecting for that.
Right.
It's not just starving people anymore, it's everything.
Yeah.
One little fault, they're out there with a clipboard asking for your bank details.
A lot of new diseases have cropped up, particularly for these sort of rich and famous diseases that really third world people do not suffer from.
So I was in W.H. Smith's probably buying a Valentine's card.
Oh, okay.
So there you go, you see. So I do a bit. And...
is this the cheapest one you've got, love?
And I bought a big bar of like Galaxy.
Oh, cheaper than a box of chocolates, but yeah, still nice.
For me, that because they had an offer on, right?
Oh,
this is what I'm saying.
Okay, she's getting a card, isn't she?
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I felt awkward because she could see that. Oh, he must have some money.
What, a big bar of
Because
Galaxy?
you could afford some chocolate.
Well, it was like an impulse buy thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So she's thinking he's got money to burn.
Yeah.
So at first I didn't know who she was.
There's a guy over here buying a big bar of Galaxy and a small card. Yeah, follow him.
So she's there. I'm thinking she just works in W.H. Smith's.
Yeah.
Morning, sir. All right, how's it going? Oh,
Right.
have you got a minute? So I'm thinking, is it W.H. Smith saying, how often do you buy the Galaxy? Because they always do sort of surveys and stuff. So she said, oh, you like chocolate? I went, yeah. She said, yeah, I'll have a chocolate. Right?
Oh.
Little chocolate.
Yeah.
I ate it.
Yeah,
then she goes, right, are you aware of the problems in the world? So I'm thinking, what's this? You see, they've been clever there.
Yes.
I can't say no and walk off without a bit of chocolate.
Sure.
Right.
So,
Why don't you freeze? Just freeze.
We're closing up now. We're closing the shop.
So I said, there's loads of problems. I'm sick of it. So she says...
no, not yours, sir. There are some people who are starving.
Yeah, and I explained to her, I said, listen, I've got loads of these charities every month. I said, my bank account is literally... Because I don't use my current bank account that much. So you look at it with a statement, it's like, Tools for Africa.
Right.
Help the Aged. Deaf Kids. There's another one.
.com, deafkids.com.
There's loads.
Is Tools for Africa when they send people like Carl over to help out?
Yeah, that is Comic Relief. Tools for Africa is another name for Comic Relief if you watch it.
So anyway, I said, I do all this. She's going, oh, that's very good of you, but, we need your money as well. So she's saying, just as much as you can afford, every little helps and everything. I've been here all day. Look, as you can see, I haven't had much luck. It's not that busy in the shop, blah, blah. Oh, all right then, right? So I give her the details. She looks at the amount. She goes, right, now the options are, you can tick the £5 box, the £10 box, the £20 box, the £50 box. This is a monthly payment.
Right.
She said, well, I'll put you down for a tenner. Forget the £5. She just leapfrogged that straight away.
Yeah.
And you can't go back, can you? Because then you feel bad.
Sure.
To sort of go, well, you've got a £5 one there, tick that one.
Yeah.
She can see I've got the chocolate, sort of wasting my money on things that aren't necessary when there's people dying around the world.
Yeah.
I said, right, yeah, tenner, fine. And, I filled it all out. I left the shop.
Yeah.
Spent more on that than I did on the card and the chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you spent under £10 then, basically.
So I get home and everything. Forget about it. I keep seeing these statements going out. It looks like Gandhi's bank account. The amount of stuff I'm giving away for charities.
Sure.
I forget about it though. Forget it. I'm doing my bit for charity. I should feel good about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, something kicks off in the world.
Right.
Ring, 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 ring. Oh. Hello, is that Mr. Bilkinson? Straight away I'm thinking, who's this? This isn't good.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, it's so-and-so charity.
Right.
Are you aware of the problems in the world? I said, yes, I am. There's lots of them. Yeah, but have you heard about the latest one? I said, yeah. She went, well, I'm just calling up to say thanks for the donation that you give us every month, but it's not enough. So I said, yeah, well, I think I give enough. I said, you're not the only ones here. I said, I've got 5 charities on the go here.
Yeah.
I said, I've give you what I can afford. Yeah. She's going, yeah, but let me just tell you about the problems. There's so many people missing here. This is bad. These are dying. Da, da, da. I'm going, I know. I was told all this when I signed up, and I agreed to that amount. Yeah. The £10 that I said I'm happy to give you, that's what I can afford. call some other people up who aren't giving you a tenner.
Yeah.
She goes, no, but we haven't got their numbers, and we understand that you're a supporter of our charity, and, just a little bit more will help. I said, listen, I can't. I've given you that amount. If you want, if it's not enough, let's stop the direct debit now.
Right.
I said, if it's not helping you, let's can it, and I'll give it to deafkids.com. I said, because they're not calling up Mithering.
No.
Well, they can.
That's a good thing with them. So she said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, well, that's it then. And she wouldn't let it go. And in the end, she got an extra £1.50 off me.
Right.
But that shouldn't be allowed. I think they should have, 1 year where they go, this year,